Thank you for coming back. This is going to be my blueberry muffins. So there we are. This is a really simple muffin. I take a little bit of white and a lot of translucent. Actually, it's more like this. And I mix that until they're thoroughly combined. And that is so you get the nice bready texture. See, can I bring it up slowly? Will it keep focus? So the nice inside white muffin area. So what I do is I mix them thoroughly and I roll it into a ball. Then I take my fingers, I have a thumb and an index on top and bottom, and I twist with my other hand. You could do it with your left or right hand, whichever you feel more comfortable with. And this is for the muffin shape. I let it be a little bit tall and a little bit skinny. And then we are going to paint it with yellow ochre, rust, and brown. So in order to create the dust, you shave it with your clay blade. And I am going to first saturate it in the yellow like I normally do when I try to make things nice and toasty. And I go all the way around the whole muffin. We coat the whole entire muffin, so then I take some rust and mix it with the yellow and go around the muffin again. This is to get a really nice baked color. I'll show you what it looked like before. And what it looks like after. I go around the whole top and side. I like having that yellow bottom on the yellow color on the bottom first, and then adding the rust color. I like both of them in there. But I like the strong undertone the yellow has underneath when you do that first. And then if you want, you could have some brown in there just scattered around every once in a while. It's not a big deal. So this is what it looks like after. And this is what it looked like before. So you can really see the difference. Now we're going to texture the muffin. This is the only type of cake that I really color before the texturing. And as you can see, as I am texturing it, it's lifting up part of the darker parts. For the muffin, I felt this is perfect. So we'll have our thumb on it as we're texturing the sides. And when it flattens, it does give a nice texture. Let me see if you can see this. The color isn't great in the room. But this is from texturing just how we did the bottom. This is texturing how it turns out on the sides. I feel it looks more realistic. Like if you were baking a muffin in a pan, you still have the breaded texture on the outside, but it's kind of flattened. As most of my projects, I do prefer there to be a little bit of a wait time where you wait after you color it before you start texturing it. So as you can see, it's really rough right now, and then we use our fingers to smooth it and smash it slightly. You can already see the bottom, how it's getting smashed down with my thumb. And it still looks really nice and textured even though it isn't on the bottom, because of the colors from the top and the bottom showing. You're seeing the white underneath and the yellow on top and the bits of red and brown. So I go all the way around. This one isn't a cake texture where you have to take a really long time going in the circles overlapping each other. It's just kind of breaking up the surface color in a rough and kind of choppy way, and then we very gently roll our fingers around to help flatten that texture. And when it cooks, it bakes some of it off too for some reason too, so it looks really nice. Now you might notice that I have a little spot that I didn't texture. It's because we don't really need to. I'm going to take a flexible clay blade. This is flexible, but you can use a heart shape or a circle shape cookie cutter if you have it of the right size. I bend it a lot and I go straight down. So that's where we're taking our bite out of. If you have a cookie cutter, you could also go straight down, and that's a nice shape as well. And there we go. So from here, I'm going to texture the inside of the cake. You may want to clean your hands between these steps so you don't get any of the pastels in this nice little muffiny area where you've taken a bite out of it. So you can use your clay blade or a little cutter to take that bite out, and it just depends on the shape that you want. I think with this cherry one I took the bite out with a heart-shaped cookie cutter, the back side of it. Oh, I'm sorry, the light's kind of awful here. I wonder if it will be better if I do it at an angle for you. But the inside of the muffin, we do give that full cakey texture too, where you keep on overlapping, teasing out some of the clay. So it's like I did the rainbow cake texture and the confetti cake texture. This is the same one. It's good if you give yourself a little bit of time to do this. It's not the fastest process. I'm just trying to give the overall effect here without taking too long. So you can see it. There's the sides. Now I'm going to add the crumble top. My crumble topping is sand from Michael's. It's just craft sand. And I actually have a tiny bit of the clear glitter that I use for everything. It's it's just clear fine glitter. Definitely not necessary for this project. I actually never even see it on the top, but I put a little bit of TLS just on the top of our muffin and I dip it in. So here is our nice buttery crumbly top. There we go. So from here we're going to put on a few blueberries. Blueberries could be done two ways. You can either take some dark purpley blue clay and add it like I do the confetti cake, but for this particular project instead I take some TLS and I mix in a really dark, rich purpley blue. This one's called African Violet, Africa Violet, and it's really nice and dark and rich. I just picked this up. Before I used to use a mixture of eggplant and a dark blue, like a navy blue. But this is dark enough that I feel it will be a really pretty color. And the triple thick is very thick, so it will leave a lot of that color behind. So what I'm going to do is use a safety pin to add the little bits of color. And I'll kind of push in on it so it stays in. And you can even let it barely touch little areas like a blueberry was there but has been bitten out. And that's going to bake a little bit darker. And I usually paint a tiny, tiny bit in onto the top and onto the sides, just a couple. And I press it so it's flat. And then we bake it. So after baking it, we have little blueberry muffins. We have a nice crumbly top. And then we have the nice dark rich blueberries inside. And what will really make it look realistic is the actual time you take putting into making a nice rich cakey color. But the outside textured part that we flatten with our fingers, I really like how that turns out. And with all of this jewelry, if you're using Sculpey or some of the soft clays, what you may want to do before baking them is actually place a head pin into your piece and bake it with the head pin in it. I use the Primo, and so I just put it in after I bake it, and I force it through with some flat nose pliers. It also helps keep the hole smaller that way, so it doesn't, for instance, so it doesn't turn around. In order to twist it, you would have to physically twist it. It's not loose and spin. So anyhow, hope that you enjoy this. Let me know if there's anything else you guys want to see. We're almost to the very end of our breakfast. I'll be talking to you soon. Thanks so much. Bye.